Mini Q&A number 30. Thank you guys so much for sending me these questions. And my first set of questions is going to come from Final Limits 1. Thank you for sending me questions. You are my biggest supporter. That's one thing I'm going to say about that. Thoughts on the Knockouts ladder match between Taryn Butterface Terrell and versus Gail Kim? They always put on awesome matches. It never fails. And honestly, I wish that these two, I wish that the Divas division and WWE can literally set the tone and watch these two go at it. Like, honestly, when they had that match at Slammiversary, it was awesome. And I really did like their ladder match that they had in the Impact Zone, well, at TNA this past Thursday. I honestly did like it. I thought it was awesome, and I really did enjoy it. Seriously. Um, what are your favorite wrestling themes? If you mean by theme songs, CM Punk, Cult of Personality by Living Color. Um, I have to say Batista, I Walk Alone. I'm not sure who the artist is. I like Chris Jericho, Break the Walls Down. Who else? Jack Swagger's We Are the People theme. Alberto Del Rio's theme. Fandango's theme used to be catchy, but I kind of outgrew it. And who else? Stone Cold Steve Austin. And also The Rock. The Rock's latest music. His music you can listen to forever and it never gets old. I love it. What was your top six best wrestling matches you have ever seen in your whole entire life? The Streak. Hands down, anything that was in relation to the Streak is one of the best streak match I ever saw was at WrestleMania 27. Sure, that was a sucky pay-per-view, but I was there, so unfortunately I had to endure Lawler and Cole. Okay. But I will say that The Undertaker versus Triple H, that was the best streak match I ever saw live. Oh my gosh, was it awesome. It absolutely was. And that kind of tops WrestleMania 25. I'm sorry. That tops WrestleMania 25 by far. Well, yeah, I have to say it did. In my opinion, it did. It was heart-wrenching because it really was Shawn Michaels' last match was WrestleMania 26. But I will say that WrestleMania 20, or was it 25? I can't remember. But either or, WrestleMania 25, the streak match between Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, WrestleMania 27 between Triple H and The Undertaker. Who was WrestleMania 24? I can't remember. But anything that was involved with the streak was absolutely awesome for me. I will say that the feud between Heidenreich and The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble in a casket match, that was one of my favorite matches as well. My first WrestleMania 14, with the DX versus Stone Cold with Mike Tyson as a special guest enforcer. That was one of my favorite matches, and that was also my first pay-per-view I was ever able to rent at home on my birthday, which was better. Good grief, there's so many. I have to say, yeah, I will say WrestleMania 28 streak WrestleMania 28 streak match was really good as well. Especially how that Shawn Michaels was able to make a good story out of it. I will say that. Chris Jericho versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 28, even though it was underrated, and because so much it was the way that the match was placed, even though they put the streak way too early and they had that match afterwards, it would have been a great match if they switched it up. But honestly, that was a good match in itself. I think it was the Best in the World match, CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. That was a good match as well, something I was looking forward to. But unfortunately, it just kind of messed things up. And I also will say, I probably said more than one, but I will say anything, it's pretty much mostly WrestleMania matches. WrestleMania 28, The Rock versus John Cena. The reason why I say this match was good was because of the aftermath. The Rock cleaned house with John Cena. Like, he literally humbled John Cena real quick. And that's why I liked it. It brought the whole storyline to a completely different direction, especially when it came to John Cena. Sure, they teased a lot of heel turns, but it was more humanizing. And that's why I like those matches. There were many more, but good grief, they were so long ago, it's kind of hard to remember them all. So I will say that those matches pretty much were WrestleMania matches, except for one that I will say was awesome. Um, do you think Cream Crazy is a terrible friend to Largest 85? Since he didn't wish Largest a happy birthday, um, and you did, and and he knew Largest more times than you have. Look, I'm not gonna put my 2 cents in that. I like Cream Crazy. He hasn't done anything bad to me. Um, Honestly, I'm not gonna really put my 2 cents in that. But I will say this: if you have any beef if you have beef with Cream Crazy, by all means, it's between you and him. I don't want to get involved in it. Um, what do you think of that ugly? Okay, what do you think of that ugly punk NJ disrespecting my good friend Lars 85 in the live stream? He did a couple weeks ago when I asked him what his thoughts on Lars 85, and he replied, "He's large and he's 85 years old." Um, the thing about NJ is NJ likes a clown sometimes. He really does like to joke around. I don't think he said anything like that on purpose to hurt anyone because that's just not him. He's the type of guy that really does like to be nice. And it will be completely out of his character for him to insult someone out of the blue. It's just not him. But I mean, for me, knowing him for a while, I've known him for close to 2 years, and we have talked. And he just seems like he goes out of his way to be a good guy. So it'd just be something completely out of character, and I don't think he did any of that on purpose. But that's just how I feel about it. Thoughts on Gold Standard 000? I don't know. I don't think I've watched any of Gold Standard's videos. I'm not sure if he makes any, and I think he sent me some questions at one time. I can't remember, but I don't have anything to say. I don't really know the guy. I'm sorry, but thank you for sending me questions, and let's move on to the next. Okay, my next set of questions comes from the Great Fox. What did you think of the match with Jericho and Christian versus Lita and Trish at Armageddon 2003, titled The Battle of the Sexes? Good grief, I don't remember that match. That's one match I'm probably gonna have to go back and watch because it's been a hot minute since I've seen it. It's been a while since I've seen it. No, I actually missed it. Yeah, I don't think I saw Armageddon that year. I actually did miss that pay-per-view that year, so I have no idea what happened. What do you think? What do you think of when Trish turned heel at Mania 20 and joined Christian portraying Jericho? I was heartbroken. I really was because Trish and Jericho were really cute together, especially how Chris Jericho was kind of shy and everything around her. How he really liked Trish. It was adorable. But then to see her go out with Christian was kind of a downgrade. I was like, dude, why? Jericho's so much cuter. I mean, I don't know. But it was heartbreaking for me. What do you think of the Wyatt family? Will they be buried soon since Vince and WWE always messes up everything that's good? I am not sure. I will say the Wyatt family really do have a lot of hype behind them, especially with NXT, how much of an impact the Wyatt family had on NXT. I don't think they're gonna be that they're not gonna be throwing a back burner anytime soon. It will be nice to see them versus the Shield. It will be interesting since they both came from NXT. But let's just hope they don't mess the whole thing up. What do you think of Casey Anthony? Ooh, let's just say I lived in Florida during the whole Casey Anthony trial, and let's just say it was a mess. It was a really terrible, insane, psychotic mess, and I don't want to go back and think of those horrible memories. What do you think of the whole Zimmerman Trayvon shooting? It's a shame. It really is kind of messed up what happened, and I think that was also done in Florida, and honestly, it was messed up what really happened to him. I'm not going to really put my 2 cents in it, but it's just a shame that, a life was lost because of this whole craziness. What are all the games you have for Sega Genesis, and show them? Just 1 second. Okay. You asked for them, so here you go. I actually do have the original Sega Genesis that I still play with, as well as the games. As you can see, I have the extension pack Sonic and Knuckles. If you can see that, I have that. I also have Sonic 2, which is one of my favorites. Let me see. I also have Sonic 3, and with the connector pack is even more fun. I also have, well, this one doesn't have a cover because, well, my sister tore it off, but this is actually, if you can see it here, this is actually Street Fighter. There we go. There's actually Street Fighter 2. classic fighting game. I also have another favorite Disney game that I used to play, and this is Aladdin. This is actually a really good game. I mean, people say it's kind of hokey, but it's actually a pretty good game. It's really fun. Hard boss battle though, really hard boss battle. And also the carpet ride is just as hard. I don't know why I traded my Sonic 2 for this game, but Altered Beast, completely boring. I mean, you beat it and then you just go back and do the same old crap again. So I haven't touched this game since I brought my Genesis out. And last but not least, Streets of Rage 2. I have a ball, and honestly, me and my sister had a ball playing this game. And I just had so much fun playing all those games. So honestly, there you go. Those are all of my games. So let's move on to the next question that you have for me. For the next set of questions for that person. Leon Pascaliote asked, what do you think of the first ever Money in the Bank match at Mania 21 in '05, and of when Benoit, and of when Edge hit Benoit with the chair on his injured arm, and Benoit was screaming like, well, he was screaming. How funny was that to watch Benoit? It's never really funny to see him in pain, but I guess sometimes they kind of overplay it. Just like how Ric Flair overplays when he gets flipped over and when he gets hurt. He's like, ah, ah, ah. Yeah, sometimes you feel like they're kind of overplaying it. But if they're really hurt, and I wouldn't be surprised if Benoit was, ouch. But the first Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 21, I'm telling you, was probably the best idea. And I think the idea was inspired by Edge. And honestly, that was really a great match. The Money in the Bank ladder matches never do... It never does leave you hanging. It never disappoints because they always have high flyers that bring out the whole edginess of the ladder match. Then they have the brawlers going against each other for the ladder, so the ladder to climb up. I always thought it was a great match. I just wish they had one instead of two. Like seriously, I wish they had one and they gave you a choice of what belt you want to choose and go against. But of course, they want to separate everything. What if Vince got caught cutting a rope? Okay. The one thing I'm going to say is that it was faulty machinery. It was a faulty harness that really did cause Owen Hart's death, and that is a shame. I don't think that Vince McMahon will want to do that because that'll be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. It is a shame that Owen Hart died the way he did, and it was kind of scary seeing that live on TV. So honestly, I'm not going to really go there when it comes to a question like that, but thank you for sending me that. What if Taker was in a match with Daniel Bryan at Mania, and they both forgot their spots, and they ended up forgetting where they were in the match, and they started talking to one another loudly. That would really be funny, but then that would also really make a lot of people angry, just like Batista versus Lesnar. Goldberg versus Lesnar. That was probably one of the most boring matches ever because they literally stayed in the ring staring at each other. Because they were both leaving at the same time. They did not feel like putting on a spectacular match. A lot of people were getting angry and throwing stuff in the ring. And honestly, that's going to probably happen if they actually did do that. What do you think of the Smarks chanting Husky Harris at Bray Wyatt? And also fans chanted what Mark Henry and Taker... Okay. And also when fans chanted what to Mark Henry and Taker when they cut a promo a while back. Those who want to smack these fat virgins, no, I don't want to smack anybody. But honestly, just like people were chanting with Ryback Goldberg, because people consider him to be Goldberg. The same thing, they even called Mark Henry sexual chocolate. Either or, people say whatever they want. If they remember him as Husky Harris, great. I don't care. It's gonna get lame and stale after a while, and they're gonna end up doing something else. So, well, it doesn't matter. But thank you guys for sending me questions. If you have any other questions for me, by all means, send it to my YouTube inbox or via Twitter at RKH30, #NatureGirlQ&A. This is NatureGirl30 signing off. Peace out. Later.